Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Okay, I want to continue talking about carnitine. Love, love, love this stuff, especially in combination with coenzyme Q10 and alpha-lipoic acid. We're going to talk about that here for the next few days. Carnitine is very underappreciated, in my opinion. It's one of the all-time great supplements for the ketogenic diet as well. Carnitine is a fat supplement, and the ketogenic diet is a fat diet. Carnitine facilitates the body's ability to utilize fat. Remember, the ketogenic diet's about fat. It's about leveraging all that energy that's in fat. Carnitine facilitates that process, facilitates fat burning, oxidation, as they say, facilitates the movement of fats into the burning mechanisms inside of a cell. In fact, the action of carnitine is, you can think of it like the essence of the ketogenic diet's mechanism. The ketogenic diet is a fat-burning diet, and carnitine is a fat-burning supplement. In other words, the ketogenic diet, like carnitine, both of these work by allowing the body to utilize fat. Carnitine is a type of amino acid. It's actually not really. It's a dipeptide. It's made up of two different amino acids. It's a hybrid. It's found in high concentrations in the liver. The liver is our fat processing organ. Carnitine is made in the liver. It's found in the liver. And although the ketones, when you do the ketogenic diet, the ketones that are generated don't necessarily need carnitine. The ketogenic diet produces ketones, which are like the essence, the power of the fat is in the ketone. It's like the essence of all of the energizing benefits of fat are held in place by the ketones. It's the essence. Not that you can't get energy from fat without ketones. In fact, when the body burns fat, ketones are generated as a byproduct. So fat burning and ketone generation, they're not necessarily the same things. Ketone generation is a byproduct. Carnitine facilitates the movement. You don't necessarily need it for the ketogenic diet, but you're going to need it if you're using more fat. If you're eating more fat, if you want to be a fat burner, you need carnitine. Carnitine is like a little biochemical fat magnet. It attracts fat. It carries pieces of fat into the little fat burners, so-called mitochondria. Got hundreds, maybe thousands in some cells of mitochondria. That is so amazing to me, you guys. You know, a cell's amazing, but there's actually little things inside a cell that are just as amazing as the cell itself. Billions of years ago, there were just bacteria cells. They say the Earth is 4 billion years, so the scientists tell us, 4 billion years old, right? So for the first 500 million years, 500 million years, that's the kind of scales we're talking about, if you believe the scientists. First 500 million years was all just bacteria. This was a planet of bacteria. Then something happened about 500 million years ago, or about 3.5 billion years ago, I should say. First 500 million years, you got just bacteria. Then something happened, and bacteria somehow turned into animal cells, or plant cells, higher cells. Bacterial cells are like a primitive type of cell. Not that they're not functional, they're incredibly functional. Bacteria rule the world in many ways. But something happened, and nobody knows exactly what, but boom, all of a sudden you had a cell that could burn oxygen, that could utilize oxygen, that could produce energy at a much more efficient and much more elegant fashion than a bacteria. That's really the major difference between a bacterial cell and the higher cells, is we can produce energy more efficiently. And that allows us to do more things. And nobody knows exactly what happened, but it's thought, the researchers, the scientists believe that somehow or another these mitochondria, these little fat burners, these little energy devices somehow merged with a bacterial cell. That's the difference between a bacterial cell and a human cell or animal cell or a plant cell, higher cells, if you will. They call them eukaryotes, higher cells. These higher cells have the mitochondria, and it's thought that the mitochondria were a separate life form that kind of merged with a bacterial cell to form us. And that made these new cells, these animal cells, that have an ability to utilize energy more efficiently, to produce it more effectively, and they could do all kinds of good things. A cancer cell, by the way, is a cell that's gone backwards. A cancer cell is operating like an old-style cell, like the old model, the bacterial cell. That's why it divides so rapidly, like a bacteria. That's why it becomes resistant to chemotherapy so effectively, because it's dividing so rapidly, like a bacteria becomes resistant. The mitochondria are ridiculously fascinating, and they have their own DNA. If you ever watch the crime shows, you know, you've probably heard of the term mitochondrial DNA. They have their own type of DNA that's distinct from the cell's DNA. It's like they're like little entities that have somehow maintained a certain amount of individuality while they've merged with us. And these things, carnitine is responsible for feeding these things fat. These mitochondria are ridiculously fascinating, not only because of all the stuff they do, but because they're tiny size. They are hundreds of times smaller than the width of a human hair. Inside a cell, and inside a cell itself, you could have hundreds to thousands of these things. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll talk more carnitine when we come back from this break. Don't go away. Talking about, well, one of my favorite nutritional supplements, nutraceuticals. Nutrients that act like pharmaceuticals. Is carnitine is underappreciated as it is. As far as nutritional supplements are concerned, carnitine is your heart's best nutritional supplement friend, or at least one of your, I don't want to say your best, but one of your heart's best friends. It's the quintessential cardiac nutraceutical, nutritional medicine for the heart. Despite all the noise about heart disease and the billions, even trillions of dollars spent on awareness of heart disease, prevention of heart disease, checkups, diagnostics, reducing risks with pharmaceuticals, heart disease is still the leading cause of death in this country and around the world. Only cancer comes close to approaching the amount of deaths associated with a disease. Of course, iatrogenic disease, medically induced disease, is probably the number one killer. Do you know that? That's the number one killer in this country when you factor in drug deaths and accidents and misdiagnosis. How could that be? How can we have a medical system that's the leading cause of death? That is unbelievable. Just mind-boggling. Heart disease mortality has gone down a little bit, but heart disease rates have not. And around the world, this is true around the world. And ironically, the more government and medical nonsense that we are subjected to about low-fat diets and low-salt diets and eating 6 to 7 servings of whole grains every day and taking statin drugs to force your body to lower your cholesterol and not eating cholesterol, all of these silly dogmas about how to take care of your heart, despite the fact that we are bombarded with these ideas on an hour-to-hour basis, rates of the disease have not really budged very much, although, as I say, mortality has dropped a little bit. Cardiovascular diseases are the leading cause of premature death in the world, period. That includes heart attacks, strokes, and other various circulatory issues. The number of deaths around the world from cardiovascular disease increased by 41% between 1990 and 2013, just in the last 23 years. How does this happen? Death rates from cardiovascular disease were steady in every region in the world, except for sub-Saharan Africa, where the rates increased. They were steady, or they fell slightly, I should say. Carnitine is especially important for heart cells, which depend on fat more than any other cell in the body. That tells you something. Heart cells need energy. Your heart is pumping billions of times in a lifetime. Never stops pumping. Never stops beating. All that requires energy. Someday we'll talk about how an electrical pulse is generated through the heart. That's a little bit technical, but man, is that amazing. Do you ever wonder about that? How is an electrical pulse generated in a perfectly, for most of the time, in a perfectly choreographed rhythm? Boom, 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 boom. All happens electrically. How does this occur? This is another miracle in the human body. Little heart cells conduct energy in this incredible fashion, electrical energy in this incredible fashion that allows them to generate a rhythmic electrical charge, particularly in an area of the heart called the pacemaker. They'll put an artificial pacemaker in your heart if this area gets messed up. And one of the major, most important resources or raw materials for these cells to do their business, their electrical business, is carnitine. It's fat and carnitine. Fat especially is important because it's so dense in energy. The heart needs fat. Tell that to the next doctor who wants you to go on a low-fat diet. From the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, February 2016, a new Dutch study of 36,000 people shows that the more saturated fat they ate, the less heart disease they got. Add this fact to the evidence of the Inuit Eskimos who subsist on animal fat and protein for 10 months a year and get very little heart disease. As far as cholesterol goes, same thing. The idea of poisoning the cholesterol production system with a statin drug in the name of health, I want to be very clear about this. It is one of the stupidest of all medical dogmas. And I don't care if you lower your risk by 1.5%. You cannot ever expect to get healthy by poisoning part of your body. Period. End of story. It's just, I don't need to see statistics. I don't need to see papers and research studies. I'm just telling you common, logical sense. You cannot shut down part of the body, especially a part of the body that is so fundamental or as fundamental as cholesterol production machinery, which is basically how you want to think of the cholesterol production, how cholesterol production proceeds in the body. It's machinery. You cannot shut down the machinery of cholesterol production and not expect to have a blowback, have a negative side effect. It cannot be. And to think you're going to get healthier and get better by doing it is sheer... it's medical nonsense, but it's even worse than that. It's dishonest on the part of the drug companies, not necessarily on the part of the doctors who are just many times medical sheep. Just like people, they're people, and they're good people, by the way. I'm not here to rip on doctors. And never ever I'm going to rip on doctors. I'm ripping on the model. Although I will say there are doctors like people, there are ordinary people who are medical sheep. And nothing says that you're a medical sheep more than writing a script for a statin drug without understanding what you're actually doing, without simply by going by statistics or by what the drug companies told you. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side. We will return right after this break. From the, let's see, where is this from here? This is from, I don't know where it's from. Apparently, it's from Texas Tech University. New findings detail how beneficial bacteria in the nose suppress pathogenic bacteria. That is, probiotics in your nose can help protect you from respiratory infections. I've been talking about this for years. I remember doing an interview about allergies and about nasal infections in kids. Kids are notorious for getting, not nasal infections, but ear infections in kids. Kids are notorious for getting ear infections. And I was talking to the radio host. I was telling her about probiotics, and she couldn't believe it. She didn't make sense how you could work on probiotics in your digestive system and help prevent ear infections. Well, it turns out that you got probiotics in your head. Inside your head, you got probiotics in your nose and in your sinuses. I don't know about in your sinuses, actually, but in your nose. In your nose, I wouldn't be surprised if they're everywhere, personally, but it seems like the sinuses wouldn't have bacteria in them. In any case, the nose has beneficial bacteria that help suppress the bad guys. This is one of the major roles of the good guys. They suppress the bad guys. And there are so many ways that we have, so many strategies and so many things that we do in our culture today that pretty much might as well be specifically designed to kill off those good bacteria. Add that to the list of the reasons why we're sick. We're killing off this microbiome with chlorine and fluoride and antibiotics in the water and the crappy way we eat and irritable bowel syndrome and too much sugar. Almost everything we do in terms of how we take care of our bodies, from the food we eat to the water we drink to the air we breathe, is pretty much, if it's not specifically designed, it might as well be specifically designed to kill off our good bacteria. Get yourself on the ultimate nightly essence. Eat fermented foods. Be very careful of the foods you choose to eat. Sugars can be especially problematic, especially concentrated sugars in dried fruits, especially concentrated sugars in pies and desserts, especially concentrated sugars in any fruit, really. Bananas and the super rich sugary foods are notorious for causing digestive health challenges in folks. You got to be careful with the fruit. And I would not be drinking tap water. I drink tap water if I go out to a restaurant or something. That's basically it, actually. So if I go out to a restaurant, I'll drink tap water. Unless I have an option to have bottled water. And many times, if not all the time, choose the bottled water. You got to be careful with the tap water. After you drink the tap water, make sure you're using vitamin C. Vitamin C can help neutralize some of the toxicity of tap water. Vitamin C can help neutralize a lot of toxicity. Vitamin C is one of those nutrients you want throughout the day, by the way, because we're constantly toxic. From the Cochrane Library, a systematic review found that music was demonstrated to alleviate cancer patients' syndrome or symptoms. Listening to music reduces cancer patients' symptoms. I love this idea. Not just any music, but classical music. Why? Because, well, they didn't say this, but I'm going to tell you why. Because music, classical music, calming music, activates the parasympathetic nervous system. According to this Jake Brodt, PhD, associate professor at Drexel University's College of Nursing and Health, quote, the results of single studies suggest that music listening may reduce the need for pain pills, as well as decreased recovery time and duration of hospitalization. How do you like that? Listening to music. When was the last time a doctor wrote a prescription for Beethoven or Mozart or some classical music? What else we got here? Understanding the fate of food. Oh, this is really cool. Do you know to this day we don't really understand how we digest our food? All the specifics of digesting our food. According to Dr. Didier Dupont, a senior scientist at the INRA Agro campus in France, the digestive process is something of a black box. We need to know more about the role of food in human health. Where'd you hear that before? Hippocrates said that. Hippocrates said that 2,000 plus years ago. Let food be thy medicine, let medicine be thy food. Now, it's just starting to change. I will say the medical model is starting to make an adjustment, understanding the power of food. Now, they still have some bad ideas here, but they're now understanding the power of food and the critical nature of the gastrointestinal, GI tract, the digestive tract, when it comes to how healthy or not healthy we are. But common sense has been dictating this idea for thousands of years. Up as recently as 10 years ago, your doctor would have poo-pooed the idea that food or nutrition, probiotics or nutritional support of the digestive tract has any relevance when it comes to health. Eat 3 square meals a day. Make sure you're getting the 4 food groups. Blah 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 blah. Dr. Wallach used to say, "Nothing has killed more people than that phrase. Just get your 4 food groups." Pizza is, remember ketchup was one of the 4 food groups, it was a vegetable? Pizza is considered all your 4 food groups. But now we're understanding that there's a major, major relationship between how healthy the digestive tract is and how healthy we are. It's the first point on our triangle of disease. Soon after the digestive system becomes corrupted, the blood sugar system gets messed up, and then we're off to the disease races via the thyroid adrenal complex. Every single health challenge, and by the way, heart disease especially, is a result, a function of this triangle of disease that begins at the level of the digestive system. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's see, we'll take Todd real quickly here. And hey, Todd, why don't you ask me a question, then I'm going to have you hold because we're going to go to break, okay?
Okay, I just want you to talk about psoriasis again.
Okay, got it. Horrible.
One other thing. There's a disease where you can't sweat. It's a genetic disease.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
A lot. I want you to talk about that too. I'll just listen online.
Okay, good deal. Thanks for your call, Todd. Thanks. We'll address that when we come back for a break. Take care. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. Got lines open at 844-236-6010. We'll talk a little psoriasis and talk a little bit about anhidrosis, I believe they call it, where you can't sweat. A really very terrible condition where you can't sweat. We'll talk about that when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll be back. Before we went to break, we talked to Tony, I believe, in Texas, or I think it was Tony in Texas, about psoriasis and something that's called anhidrosis, which is a condition where you can't sweat. So let me just talk about these things real quickly, and then we'll get to some more calls. So hang on if you're on hold. 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's take anhidrosis first. This is a condition where you can't sweat. It's kind of a mysterious condition. And let me tell you about this thing. People can't sweat. And it doesn't sound like it's not, it may not sound like it's an incredibly important thing, but it is incredibly important. For one thing, you detoxify through sweat. For another thing, you cool down through sweat. So it's a serious problem. Nobody really knows what causes it, but there's a couple things that come to mind. First of all, there's research that shows that when you get injected with adrenal hormones, epinephrine in particular, that can cause the problem. So, not surprisingly, there seems to be a link between the adrenal glands and the inability to sweat. Your adrenal glands are your stress glands. So, there seems to be a connection between the two. This is not surprising. But the main point is that when you have a condition that's mysterious, that you can't figure out the cause of, you always want to backtrack to your triangle of disease. You always want to backtrack to these 3 points. And another thing you always want to do is you want to look for multiple symptoms. Nobody just has anhidrosis. Nobody just can't sweat. It's not like they're perfectly 100% healthy and the only problem is they can't sweat. Oh, but my doctor told me that my test scores were all normal. It doesn't matter what your test scores say. Your test scores do not matter. Your symptoms do. You do not want to be drugged or surgically manipulated or have any other medical protocol done based on numbers, based on statistics. You're not a statistic. I'm not a statistic. We're people. All those test scores are assessed or analyzed through something called reference values, reference ranges, standards, normal. Nobody's normal. These ranges are meaningless. If you have anhidrosis or any other mysterious health condition, look for other symptoms. Be vigilant. Sometimes they're sneaky. Sometimes they're tricky. They go under the radar, especially digestive symptoms. If we've had a symptom all our life, we may not even notice it until we really start analyzing and paying attention. That's why food diary is so important. So anhidrosis, mysterious condition. It seems to be related to the adrenal glands. Not a surprise. Look for other symptoms and backtrack to the triangle of disease. Always backtrack. There is a genetic component, but there's a genetic component to everything. So saying there's a genetic component doesn't tell us much. The genes turn on and off like Christmas tree lights depending on epigenetics. Tomorrow we'll talk about how carnitine is an epigenetic factor. Epigenetics is the idea that there are things that turn the genes on and off. This is so important because we're taught to believe that the gene rules all, and that if there's a gene for something, then we're condemned. It doesn't work that way. That's not how genetics works. That's a simplistic notion of genetics that's promoted by people who want to sell us things, particularly things that help us tweak the gene. If you want to tweak your gene, do it with the thoughts you're thinking, the feelings you're feeling, and the food you're eating, and the supplements you're getting, and the air you're breathing, and the water you're drinking. That's how you manipulate your genes. The genes are exquisitely responsive to the environment, as would make perfect sense in a body that is exquisitely responsive to the environment. Now, as far as psoriasis goes, that one is really interesting because it is so tragically unnecessary. Like most health challenges, but because psoriasis is on the outside of the body, it's not only the cause of physical misery, it's the cause of emotional misery and mental misery. It's a horrible experience for somebody to have to go through these patches. We have a culture where we don't, we look at people funny when they got things going on their skin, and it's not really very nice of us. I don't think, as somebody who's in the skincare business. So psoriasis is emotionally debilitating and mentally debilitating, in addition to being physically debilitating, in addition to being, and this is the most important thing about psoriasis, it is a harbinger of more awful things to come. Are significant morbidities. That means associated diseases with psoriasis. Heart diseases rates are higher in people who have psoriasis. Cancer rates are higher in people who have psoriasis. Autoimmune disease. Well, psoriasis is an autoimmune disease. Psoriasis is when the body attacks itself. In the case of all autoimmune diseases, that's the mechanism. In the case of psoriasis, the body attacks the skin cells. The skin cells then look like an enemy, and an inflammatory cascade is initiated that results in cells dividing super rapidly, and you end up with a plaque on the surface of the skin. It's not unlike a cancer in a way. It's just rapid, uncontrolled growth of skin cells. And it's caused by an activated immune system, period. You want to stop your psoriasis? Fast. Fast for a week. Watch what happens to your plaques. Now, you can't fast forever. You got to eat again. But when you eat again, be careful. Watch the kind of food you're eating and use digestive support. Do a food diary and the elimination diet. And use digestive support supplements, chief among which are probiotics, good bacteria. You could take your good bacteria, your probiotic supplement, your Ultimate Nightly Essence, you could peel off the label, and you could put on an Ultimate Anti-Psoriasis Essence. It's the same thing. It's the same idea. You're supporting the probiotic bacteria. This supports the gut, which in turn supports the immune system. The gut is the immune system mostly. 80% of your immune system lives in the gut. So anything you do for the gut, you're going to support your immune system. And we just spent time talking about how the good bacteria fight the bad bacteria, and the good bacteria support the immune system. And get on a probiotic supplement. Eat fermented food. Use sauerkraut, miso, tempeh. Use your Amasai and your Swerovie from Longevity. This is Jordan Rubin's great insight, is fermented food and bacteria. Use vegetable juices. This is all for psoriasis, by the way. There's also a very important relationship between the fat system and psoriasis. Omega-3s are very important as an anti-psoriatic nutritional supplement. Omega-3 fatty acids from fish oil especially. Omega-6s are the main fat in the skin. And despite what you hear, you need omega-6s in your diet and in supplementation because we don't get enough omega-6s. Oh, I know, French fries and potato chips. So I'll use canola oil and corn oil and soy oil. And, we have lots of omega-6 oils in the culture, but we're cooking with them. We're heating them. We don't get the omega-6s that we need when we heat and cook oils. So you need to supplement with omega-6s as well as fish oil, as well as fatty nutrients like vitamin E and vitamin A for psoriasis. Vitamin D is a medical protocol for psoriasis. That's how important that is. You'll actually get a prescription for something called Dovanex, which is vitamin D, which is a pharmaceutical version of vitamin D. And for eons, at least since dermatology began, the sun has been used, or sun lamps have been used to improve the quality of the skin in all manner, for acne, for anti-aging, and for psoriasis. Why? Because the sun activates vitamin D, among other things. The sun does lots of things for the skin. It turns it on, it exercises the skin, it stimulates the skin, and most importantly, it upregulates the production of the good vitamin D, the quality vitamin D. Food vitamin D and supplemental vitamin D, they're nowhere near the quality as sun-driven vitamin C. Sun-driven vitamin C, that's the stuff you want, and especially if you're dealing with any skin condition, really, but especially if you're dealing with psoriasis. Retinoids have also been used. My retinol 5% gel may be helpful. For folks dealing with psoriasis, retinoids are all the retinoids. There's artificial retinoids, fake retinoids. A retinoid is vitamin A derivative. There are fake ones, pharmaceutical ones, but why use the fake one? Use retinol. Use the real stuff. And make sure you're getting 20,000 IU of vitamin A a day. By the way, I have my Blemish Repair Complex coming out here in a couple weeks. Blemish Repair Complex is loaded with vitamin A, and it's loaded with NAC and selenium. It's loaded. It's not. There ain't no window dressing in this guy. In my Blemish Repair Complex. Just like there's no window dressing in our Truth Skin Health products. All right. Thanks for listening, friends. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Tomorrow we'll continue talking about carnitine and the heart, and then carnitine and the brain. Carnitine is an antidepressant, as it turns out. We'll talk about that tomorrow on the bright side. If you want to check out our Truth Skin Health products, head to truthtreatments.com, and I'd love to have you on the Bright Side Ben team. If you want to call our phone team at 866-735-2470 and start a longevity business, love to have you aboard. Thanks for listening. Have an awesome, wonderful, beautiful, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.
Think about this. Your community's aging water infrastructure systems are very likely to be contaminated with heavy metals like lead, disinfection chemicals like ammonia, chlorine and chloramines, and pharmaceuticals like statins, pain meds, and antidepressants. And no, water treatment plants are not equipped to filter these pharmaceutical toxins out. Protect your family's water supply with the trusted Big Berkey water filter. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show Big Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria, and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification, and our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Hi everyone, I'm Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist and host of The Bright Side. The good news about nutrition and health. The good news that if you or someone you care about is on a prescription drug or has some kind of health challenge, there's a gentle, natural, healthy way to address most health issues without drugs and without doctors, and it's as simple as understanding how the parts of the body work and how they interact with the foods we eat and the nutrients we take in. If you've heard me on The Bright Side or at one of my presentations, you know I'm a man on a mission to help you understand health and wellness and the remarkable healing powers of the biological system called the human body. And if you like The Bright Side, you're going to love my new website, brightsideben.com. You'll find articles and links, you'll be able to access archives, and we'll even have exclusive information that you won't hear on the radio show. And of course, you can purchase the Youngevity nutritional supplements and even sign up to join my Youngevity team and make an impact, make a difference, and maybe make some money too. Check out brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com or call 866-735-2470 for more.
Ever feel like you're being watched? Like someone or some company is tracking your every move online? I know I do. That's why I trust Private Internet Access VPN to keep me safe when I'm online. I use it to encrypt my traffic and use an anonymous IP address. Private Internet Access keeps your internet traffic safe from unwanted eyes so you can finally feel safe. $40 a year for peace of mind is a no-brainer. Sign up today at privateinternetaccess.com. Once again, that's privateinternetaccess.com.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
There is an affordable alternative to the high cost of healthcare that offers freedom from insurance while providing compliance with the Obamacare individual mandate. Imagine having access to quality, affordable healthcare that allows you the freedom to choose your doctor and hospital. Members can share up to 100% of necessary medical expenses, including some alternative treatments. Find out how you and your family can contain healthcare costs without giving up your freedom. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Can your vitamin supplements positively affect your blood in 5 minutes? Protovite can. Protovite is a genuine breakthrough liquid daily nutrition that delivers quality ingredients into your blood in less than 5 minutes. Scientifically proven and backed by clinical studies, Protovite supports energy, vitality, and optimal health. Watch our 2-minute live blood cell video and save for yourself at vninc.com/prohealth. That's vninc.com/prohealth.
Are you happy washing your hands with harsh chemicals? Are you happy doing laundry with detergents? Are you happy paying high prices? Find your happiness with Pure Soap. These all-natural, earth-friendly Pure Soaps are the very best you've ever used. Buy in bulk. Get a 12, 36, or 48-month supply. Or get items individually and still save big. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now. Earth-friendly and natural soaps. Your family deserves the best. Happiness is 5starsoap.com. Why not put your money up the drain for a change? See them at 5starsoap.com or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog. Cal Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils. See their full selection of soaps at 5starsoap.com. That's F-I-V-E starsoap.com. Or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
Kiss your credit card debt goodbye. I'm Pharmacist Keith. Dr. Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy, and myself want to show you how to achieve financial peace, creating an extra income that will last for years to come by joining Dr. Wallach's crusade, spreading his message of better health. To learn more, visit radio.recordedvideo.com. That's radio.recordedvideo.com, radio.recordedvideo.com, or call 866-257-3105 for a recorded message.
Can your vitamin supplements positively affect your blood in 5 minutes? Protovite can. Protovite is a genuine breakthrough liquid daily nutrition that delivers quality ingredients into your blood in less than 5 minutes. Scientifically proven and backed by clinical studies, Protovite supports energy, vitality, and optimal health. Watch our 2-minute live blood cell video and see for yourself at vninc.com/prohealth. That's vninc.com/prohealth.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Have you ever thought you'd like to flip houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? Are you ready to be your own boss so you can start living the good life? Hi, I'm Preston Ely. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity turned off 9 times, but I figured out a way to quit my job and find financial freedom in real estate. For a limited time, I want to send you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It shows you how to copy exactly what I did so you can make money from the comfort of your own home without even doing any manual labor. I've already given away 5,000 books and they're going fast. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-958-9859. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. It's short, fun to read, easy to understand, and awesome. To find out how to get your free book while supplies last, call 1-800-958-9859. Call 1-800-958-9859. 1-800-958-9859.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Injury Help Desk is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisements. Services may not be available in all states. Attention prescription antibiotic drug users. Have you or a loved one suffered an aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm after taking the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox? These popular antibiotic drugs have been prescribed more than 80 million times since 2004, and medical studies show an increased risk of the following injuries: aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, and abdominal aortic aneurysm. If you or a loved one used the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox and suffered from aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851.
I'm Chris Walls, and I'm a truck driver from Missouri. For 13 hours a night, I sit in my truck and I drive. Out of boredom, I'll stop and eat. If I'm not doing fast food, I guarantee there's a bag of chips open on my dashboard. Along with that, I'm good for about 4 liters of soda a night. That was all until Andro 400. I started out 4 months ago weighing 341 pounds, and since taking Andro 400, I have dropped 45 pounds. I'm sleeping better. There's no cravings. There's no excessive thirst. My knee pains went away. I've had some lower back issues, and I've noticed that went away, and I can only contribute that to Andro 400. One thing that Andro 400 said on the radio ad says it attacks belly fat. Well, let me tell you, it did. I've lost 6 inches. This product really does work.
So guys, if you'd like to experience similar results, then get Andro 400, the safe, natural, and inexpensive way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com. andro400.com.
Can your vitamin supplements positively affect your blood in 5 minutes? Protovite can. Protovite is a genuine breakthrough liquid daily nutrition that delivers quality ingredients into your blood in less than 5 minutes. Scientifically proven and backed by clinical studies, Protovite supports energy, vitality, and optimal health. Watch our 2-minute live blood cell video and save for yourself at vninc.com/prohealth. That's vninc.com/prohealth.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Have you ever thought you'd like to flip houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? Are you ready to be your own boss so you can start living the good life? Hi, I'm Preston Ely. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity turned off 9 times, but I figured out a way to quit my job and find financial freedom in real estate. For a limited time, I want to send you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It shows you how to copy exactly what I did so you can make money from the comfort of your own home without even doing any manual labor. I've already given away 5,000 books and they're going fast. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-958-9859. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. It's short, fun to read, easy to understand, and awesome. To find out how to get your free book while supplies last, call 1-800-958-9859. Call 1-800-958-9859. 1-800-958-9859.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Injury Help Desk is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention prescription antibiotic drug users. Have you or a loved one suffered an aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm after taking the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox? These popular antibiotic drugs have been prescribed more than 80 million times since 2004, and medical studies show an increased risk of the following injuries: aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, and abdominal aortic aneurysm. If you or a loved one used the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox and suffered from aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851.
I'm Chris Walls, and I'm a truck driver from Missouri. For 13 hours a night, I sit in my truck and I drive. Out of boredom, I'll stop and eat. If I'm not doing fast food, I guarantee there's a bag of chips open on my dashboard. Along with that, I'm good for about 4 liters of soda a night. That was all until Andro 400. I started out 4 months ago weighing 341 pounds, and since taking Andro 400, I have dropped 45 pounds. I'm sleeping better. There's no cravings. There's no excessive thirst. My knee pains went away. I've had some lower back issues, and I've noticed that went away, and I can only contribute that to Andro 400. One thing that Andro 400 said on the radio ad says it attacks belly fat. Well, let me tell you, it did. I've lost 6 inches. This product really does work.
So guys, if you'd like to experience similar results, then get Andro 400, the safe, natural, and inexpensive way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com. andro400.com.